Hey guys, it's Aseem Sharma, training manager from Solframe Consulting. Again, I do hope you're all well. A very quick video on how to deal with failure. We all face it, and it can be very difficult to come back up. How do you be resilient? How do you recover from it? Do we ever recover from it fully? Accepting that you have failed at something and then looking forward is the first step to doing it. But a lot of the time, it's good to accept that something has happened, perhaps ponder upon it somewhat, try to have that grieving process, experience it, and develop closure. It depends the extent to which it's affected you. It's not so much the failure itself, it's how it's affected you. So if you didn't get a job that you wanted, or you've lost your job perhaps due to COVID or otherwise, maybe you didn't pass an exam, maybe there's an issue within the family, or there's a professional problem, or something to do with a relationship. All of these things can affect you, right? You need to understand it's part of life. It is a part of life, and a lot of failures do culminate to become a success eventually, and it can be very difficult at the time whilst you're experiencing it to understand what better can come out of this. That's one thing. And yeah, you may have heard many famous quotes, and people saying that a lot of famous people or people who have discovered things have failed multiple times before being successful. That is true, that holds true. I do understand that when a lot of things happen at the same time, it can be quite difficult, and it's happened to me as well. It's easier said than done. Try not to dwell on things too much, and try to use those experiences and do a bit of introspection, that where you may have gone wrong and how you can improve upon things. But do not use that as a fear. So let's say you've had a bad experience with someone. So I had worked on a project for someone, and they ended up not paying me, and that has happened a couple of times with me. And irrespective of how much you may want to trust someone, or how much they assure you, or even if it's you've got a contract, still people default at the last minute and make the most pathetic of excuses. I'm not going to let that I'm not going to let that phase me and stop me or prevent me from taking another risk again and trying out a project. Although this time I may insist that, look, these are the experiences I've had, so I am able to justify why I would take an advance payment. I mean, that's a mitigating measure, right? So things you can do like that. So yes, try to learn from your mistakes if you've made them, and try to implement certain strategies to protect yourself somewhat. But then you have to take a risk, and you may realize that, look, the same thing will happen again. And when you're prepared to face those consequences, things may or may not work, but at least you won't feel as bad in case they don't, because you'll know that you've taken an educated risk based on these criteria, and the benefits were going to potentially outweigh the disadvantages, whatever those may be. So that's one thing. Remind yourself that, look, with time it will pass, things will get better, time is a healer to some extent, and don't let the fear play into you, because that is one of the most toxic things that can prevent you from succeeding. So be prepared to fail. I'm not saying you embrace failure, but then be prepared to fail. I think it's made me a much stronger and mature person than I was, and now I kind of see things coming. I am able to sometimes push them my way, but when I see something coming, when those signs look familiar, at least I have an idea that, look, I know what I've got myself into now and what may happen, and it won't affect me as much. If it doesn't affect you at all, then you're not human. So you do need to be a little elastic, right? We're not made out of iron. And people who express their emotions and who are comfortable with accepting their emotions, they tend to be the strongest people, not necessarily the people who kind of resist it and say that, look, I'm fine, when clearly they're not. So I hope you found this useful. For further tips, please do subscribe to this channel. You can also follow us on FB, Insta, LinkedIn and Telegram. Till next time, please do take care. Thank you very much, and bye bye.